Hi, this is Lolita Ejiofor, and you are listening to the We Win podcast powered by Accelerate Her Africa. Welcome to today's episode with our guest, Mrs. Bola Oduwole. She's an experienced human resource manager with a proven track record of working in the manufacturing service and maritime industry. A professional and skilled in negotiations, career development, executive search, conflict resolution, and team building, she is, and I can testify to this, disciplined, spiritual, and a strong believer in leadership by example and integrity. My former classmate and a sister for life. Hi, Bola. Your journey is incredibly inspiring.
Thank you.
So to start, I'd like to touch on your powerful personal story of perseverance through a 7-year waiting period before the birth of your child.
Yes.
If you're comfortable, could you share that with us and what that season of life was like for you?
It wasn't an easy journey. My life was going smoothly until after I got married. We decided that we're not going to have a child immediately. We wanted to get to know ourselves, And then after a year, nothing happened. At first, honestly, I wasn't bothered. I wasn't bothered because I was more into the companionship with my husband than having a child, right? But of course, after 2 years, 3 years, nothing was happening. And, I'm the type of person that I face things one at a time. I don't get easily distracted. And, you get all sorts of counseling, and I filter everything, and I do what I'm led to do. So we did the medical journey, of course, with the support of parents. There was no pressure from my in-laws and from my parents. It was just encouragement, okay? And, we just went on like that. And after 5 years, I got pregnant. I think there was this thing about my blood group that was not very clear. No, not my blood group, my resource. That's one thing that we really don't pay attention to. Okay, so I'm resource negative.
Right.
Yes. So the first pregnancy got terminated. And we started again. After 2 years, I got pregnant again. And my body started acting up. So my mom just said, tell the doctor to look at your blood very well. So I told the doctor, my mommy said you should look at my blood very well. Okay, so they took my blood sample, took it to like 3 different labs, and the result came out, resource negative. Oh my God. The doctor said, I'm so sorry. Okay, fine. We'll start treatment immediately to protect the fetus. Okay, so started the journey, and at the end of the day, it wasn't easy because I was placed on injections 3 times a week. I had to take it for 12 weeks. And, despite that, my body was still acting up, But I had the baby. I had a son. And to the glory of God, he's 20 years old. My husband and I, we sat down and, we now said, look, is the ultimate of this relationship a child or the companionship, the friendship that we share? And we decided that it is the companionship. It is the friendship that we share. And when it is time, God will answer. And honestly, when it was time, God answered. Yeah.
That is such a beautiful story. The fact that you and your husband prioritized the bonds you share
Yeah.
and were patient to allow God to work things out in His time
Yes.
is such a powerful thing. Something that is unfortunate reality is the fact that in that waiting period, especially in our part of the world, everybody seems to have an opinion which they feel they need to share with you, right? Everyone has one solution or the other. So I'm sure it felt overwhelming. How did you deal with all those unsolicited advice and that you got during that period?
Okay. I was working in a manufacturing company with over 1,500 employees. And, we had customers, some of them elderly women, and some of them will come and meet me. Oh, you this girl. Don't you want a child? This, and that. They come with various counselings, I know when I get home, I'll tell my husband that, hear what this person said, hear what that person said. But one thing that I did throughout, I never made them feel, what is your business? I listened, right? I listened even to those that were cock and bull. I listened. And I said, thank you, right? But at the end of the day, my husband and I would take the decision of what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. Like I told you, I do things one at a time. I don't do church prostitution. Neither do I do hospital prostitution. Okay? So I'm going to this gynecologist. I'm going to this church. I face my church. I don't want someone to say, oh, they are praying and everybody is having babies in that church. Oh, come to that church. When you tell me that, you're just wasting your time, because I will not go. Because I don't want to be messed up. In the sense that before you know what is happening, they will tag somebody in your family as a witch. And I wasn't ready for that. And that's just the thing. When you are going through waiting period for a child, you have to be focused. And then you also have to decide. If you marry your friend, both of you have to decide the way to go. You must go through the journey together. It's not a one-person journey. Your husband and yourself must hold hands throughout the period for as long as it takes. You must work together. If you do it alone, it's going to be traumatic.
Very powerful. Again, you reiterate the importance of partnership with you and your husband.
Yes.
And also there's a degree of wisdom there, because you were able to filter and you were able to shape your responses to all the advices and not getting confused. So I want to move on now to your career as a HR professional. Let's travel back to the start of your career. What were those early days like for you?
I'll say that my life has been ordered by God. And one way or the other, I'm always sensitive to what next, right? Okay, I started my career in the manufacturing company, like I told you, as a copper. I knew that I wanted to work with people and be able to influence them one way or the other. And I was focused on that. I was passionate about what I was doing. I was inquisitive. I wasn't afraid of work. And then, you must pay your dues. When I come in the morning as a copper, I get to the office, I carry the mugs I wash it, I put it back for everybody to use. Then I go to the time office, I get the clocking cards, look at those on sick leave, casual leave, finish that, because that was what I was mainly supposed to do. And then thereafter, I'll go to the personnel officer, as they were called, and I'll say, "Sir, I'm done with my work. What else am I supposed to do?" And he will say, "Okay, go and do this, go and do this, go and do that." And the personnel manager was looking at me. And I started getting introduced into other jobs, workmen's compensation, insurance, and so many other things they had to expose me to, because I will always ask them that, what else am I supposed to do? And then later on, the personnel manager called me and said, "Okay, Bola, when I'm talking to the union, I want you to sit in. You don't have to say anything. Just sit in and listen." And honestly, that is how I learned. And then, of course, later on, I started going for courses, personnel management, registered with CIPM, and the rest of it. So I knew what I wanted, and I went after it. And those who were meant to see saw it, and they picked interest in me.
That's extraordinary, Bola. It just shows that your curiosity and your willingness to take on stretch exercises helped you to become more valuable to the organization, even as junior as you were.
Yes.
So I want to know, what is it about the culture of the organization that gave you value, that actually helped you to succeed? What was the structure like that you would say you would want to replicate for other organizations?
Okay, so I'll say that the personnel manager there then was not threatened by me. You see, for organizations who lose talent, it's because those at the top are threatened by them. But one thing people don't understand is this. No matter how talented anybody is, you still have to learn. You see, there are some things that you show people that, okay, this is how you fill the insurance form. This is how you make claims for group life insurance and the rest of it. But there's something called soft skills. You see, a soft skill is something you can't teach anybody. It's innate. Okay, because I'm in human resources, I have interface with the union, and I have interface with employees who are going through one thing or the other. And then you also have to resolve conflicts between a manager and even the subordinates, because there are times that they come to you. See, a young talent cannot take this from you. So for as long as we have managers, AGMs, directors who feel threatened by the upcoming employees, the company will continue to lose talents. Allow people to evolve, and continuity is key for every organization. And you need to make everybody to be conscious of that.
Absolutely. One could argue that those who do feel threatened are actually sabotaging the company and destroying that continuity process.
Yes. See, as women, we are nurturers. Anywhere you find a woman, they nurture. I don't know if this knowledge hoarding is very common with women. However, you find, I think a woman is more open to impacting knowledge and showing people the ropes. See, it takes nothing from you. like I said, nobody can do things the way you do it. And it is because you are doing things in a particular way. That is why you are where you are. The upcoming talents, see, they will still pay their dues. Yeah. You don't get to be a manager or a director overnight. Whatever they teach you in school is knowledge. However, when you get to the workplace, you have to learn how things are done there. And there are some things that are not in the textbook. You learn through experience. So that experience, nobody can take it from you. So don't feel inadequate in yourself. Teach the generation coming. It also says a lot about you. When you leave, what happens to that department? Do they fall apart? Or they keep growing stronger and stronger? Yeah. That's an appraisal for you as the manager or the AGM or the director. Yeah.
So I completely understand the logic of, as women, passing on knowledge, nurturing other women, because that's the only way those women can also pay it forward. And that would make an environment much more productive. So from the perspective of a woman who has seen the inner workings of different companies, what are the things you look out for in a company you choose to work with? What are those things that tell you this company is going to be a great place to work?
Before I leave one job for the other, I research about the company. I want to know what they stand for. There are lots of companies that will say, oh, we are ethical. But when you have an organization where they state that mutual respect, loyalty on the part of the company and on the part of the employee. My current company, we have that. It is an environment that you can express yourself respectfully and constructively. It is an environment that you can whistle blow. If you have a healthy environment in an organization, it will thrive. But when you have a toxic environment, when you have the leader being a bully, everybody becomes a coward.
Yeah, so it's really important that even companies are aware of the kind of culture they have. So is it a toxic environment, and are they aware of that? So this is useful for young women who are looking to evaluate companies to work for. So if you were speaking to companies looking to hire quality talent, what are the top pieces of advice you would share with them to ensure that they create a culture that is appealing to the kinds of high quality personnel who they are interested in attracting?
Okay, so I think the first thing is this. As a company, do you want to walk the talk, or it is just a talk shop? So you have your vision, you have your mission of what you want to do, how you want to do it, how you want people to see you, the niche you want to cut in the market. Do you want the public to see you as a compliant company, or everything goes? That is your business perspective. Now, let's talk about your human relations perspective. Let's talk about how you want to relate with the community. Within the community you find yourself, you have to define it. Write what you do and do what you write. That is the only time a company can be ISO certified. When you bring in people, probably you take them through certain induction training, orientation training. In my present company, as a new intake, you go through some courses introducing you to the history of the company, introducing you to compliance, introducing you to cybersecurity, introducing you to general data protection, and also introducing you to how we communicate in the company. Now, these are commitments that has been laid down. And let me tell you, when you continuously take people through this process, they know what you stand for. And if the owner of a company or group of owners of a company continuously do this over time, they'll get committed to it. Because you are grooming people through a particular orientation, telling them that this is what we do and this is what we don't do. And if you now start misbehaving, they'll look at you that, but this is not what you are telling us. So the foundation is very important. It is very important. And when people know that there is freedom of speech constructively, then you, the owner, will also be on check. Yeah. So that you do not destroy what you want to build, willingly or unwillingly. And I know that there are companies in Nigeria that uphold this. So the leader must also be intentional about what he wants to do. And at the end of the day, your approach in all these areas affects the bottom line.
You've spoken very well about leadership, but I'll need to ask the question, who is a leader? And when is a leader just a boss?
Okay, so, we use the word leader because somebody is a manager or a director. But the truth is, that person could be a boss and not a leader. A leader must walk the talk. You must lead by example. You can't just be mouthing things. People must see that our guy will not do it this way. They must want to follow you. If you are the head of a unit or the owner of a company and you are not seeing some of your attributes in your people, then you are not a leader. Now, when they see you as a leader, the next thing is this. If your people trust you, they will stay. These people that are staying, you have identified some of them to succeed other people. What next do you need to do? You need to train them in areas that they are deficits. Now, in training them, you have to train them strategically, not just blindly. Like, I think there was a time that one of the employees in my company sent me a mail and said, I would like to participate in this course. And I asked him, what benefit do you want to get from this course? And he was just blabbing. I knew that course was not relevant to him. There are other courses that he could do, right? So you train people in specific areas that they need to be developed. Now, also in an organization, you must be able to appraise people. Appraisal is not a time of putting people on the cross. Appraisal is a two-way thing. It is for the company as well as for the individuals. Now, most human beings, really, except you are just an unserious person, you want to have feedback of how you are performing in your day-to-day job. There are some people that they don't even want a reward. They just want feedback, all right? And they just want you to say, you've done well. Or they just want you to say, look, in this area, I want you to improve on it or do it this way or this way or this way, right? So when you have an organization where there's true leadership, where there's feedback, where there's trust, and where there's training, and where there is reward, they will serve you forever.
That's absolutely correct, Bola. For me, it's trust. Trust is imperative in any organization. Feedback is also a way of everyone understanding exactly how they're performing. And that feedback, definitely, I agree, should be both ways. Okay, so moving on to a retention of growing talent, especially as women. There is something we hear, this word, mentorship, but there's a crucial difference between that and the active sponsorship. Could you break that distinction down for us and explain why sponsorship is so vital for getting more women into the C-suite?
Mentorship may not even be within the organization. Mentorship can be somebody you admire out of your organization who is holding your hands through life. However, sponsorship has to do with the organization itself. You being a woman and being seen as a talent in the organization that can rise to the highest level in the organization, there must be like a plan for you to be able to occupy that position. Now, does this plan include you going for a particular training up to outside the country? Is your organization willing and have the financial capability to do that? Now, if they cannot sponsor you abroad, of course there are organizations that do that, sending people to Harvard and, just because they have seen the path, right? And they have seen the commitment. They have seen your cerebral capacity to be able to occupy a position of a managing director. So it is a deliberate plan which involves finance to be able to see you to that level. Of course, you can also have mentors in an organization. The mentor in an organization may not necessarily be able to have the authority to let sponsorship come to pass. So that's just the clear difference.
That's such a powerful and clear distinction. So to leave our listeners with something truly actionable, what is one tangible thing a manager or an executive can do this week to move from being a passive mentor to becoming an active sponsor for a deserving woman on their team?
Take interest in the young generation. You see, the truth is, the younger ones need a lot of hand-holding. They need a lot of encouragement, telling them how to do things, achieve things, to become. Yes, some of them may come across as being brash, but don't let that put you off. A lot of them, the Gen Zs, the Alpha generation, they are our children. We know how we brought them up. And their attention span, human relations, is not really great. We need to let them know that it is not all about technology. A lot of things go into having a successful career in life. So take interest in somebody. It's when you give out of yourself, of your vast knowledge, that you actually grow. Don't just keep everything in and exit the organization. Make a mini you in the young ladies and men in your organization for them to also attain and achieve what you have achieved. That doesn't cost money. Just direct them. Okay, look, what do you really want to do? What are you interested in? Okay, why don't you take this path? Why don't you go and do this course? It will help you. I mean, some people study something and end up doing something else. Yeah, that happens, right? So try and direct them with what you have identified in them, right? Try and direct them subtly. Don't be too forceful about it so that they can also become somebody in life.
That's great advice for leaders, paying attention on the development of their people, understanding their core skills and their strengths, and subtly directing them where they need to go. Pure guidance. So finally, I just want to bring you in to talk about the foundation of self-love based on a post that you sent to our WhatsApp group. So I want you to elaborate for us and our listeners so they can understand what self-love is.
Okay, so I belong to a group. It's a WhatsApp group of emotionally intelligent women. And every week, a coach comes on board to treat one topic or the other. And the topic that was treated this Wednesday was self-love. And, when I posted it on the group, our selfie queen came back and said, selfie is part of it. I know that makes her very happy. So that's it. Okay, so you talk about mental health. I think that's something I'm getting into. And as I'm winding down in my profession as a human resource practitioner, that is something I want to pick up. Because the society is in trouble. There are lots of people, the young ones, and even the old ones, and even those who wear tie and suit, who are using substance. You may not know, they are controlled users, but it's there. The younger ones are not able to manage it, and it messes them up. Some of them, they don't get to finish school. One of our directors was coming from UK 2 weeks ago or so, and he saw 4 young Nigerian children being bounced back, and they were sedated. I think one of them woke up and they had to sedate him again. And that just depressed him. I know he told me something. He said, Nigerians should stop dumping their children abroad and not following up. They are children. You are sending a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old to freedom. It's not only the fees. You must be able to visit. You must be able to follow up so that he does not get negatively influenced. Now, we're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
It has to do with, number one, knowing who you are, understanding yourself. It is only when you know who you are and understanding yourself that you can understand somebody else. If you don't understand yourself and then you want to start relating with somebody else, it's not going to work. So you have to be able to handle certain things about yourself. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with someone criticizing you? Do you take it negatively all the time? Or do you just relax and say, what this person said is true? I need to do something about it. That is being positive, even when you are being criticized. You learning to be quiet, assessing yourself, talking to yourself. Okay, so we talked about my 7 years of waiting. So there are times that I'll just, I'll be talking to myself and I'll say, look, Bola, so if you don't have a child now, what do you want to do? Is that the end to your life? Are you the one that gives children? Do you want to go to the other side to look for children? Or you just want to wait that the giver of life, who is the one that is responsible to give you children in the first instance, gives you when it is his time, right? I was able to address that with myself. And honestly, I had inner peace. And I went on with my life, waiting for that time it will come to pass. That is you addressing some mental health issues that could affect you if you react to it negatively. Yeah. Self-discovery. Who am I? Okay, so now I've said that after my HR practice, I want to go into mental health, emotional intelligence, right? And why do I want to do that? I think at the end of the day, it's still kind of me wanting to impact on people. You understand? Wanting to influence positively. So presently, even in my place of work, when I see a usually bubbly person and I see the person is down and all and everything, I can just walk to that person and I'll say, see me. All right? And the person comes. We talk. And you will not believe what the person would say. And at the end of the day, something happened this week. And the young man told me that, Madam, I thought I was in front of a therapist. And I feel good now. So you just have to know what makes you tick. Then, yes, I've addressed self-talk when I was saying something about mental health. You need to be able to address yourself. Don't live in la-la land. There's no la-la land in real life. It's real. Everything is real. And things are more real in Nigeria than any other part of the world. You understand? So you really need to address yourself. Address issues happening in your life. What do I want to do about it? Do I want to kill myself? Or what? If I think about this thing from morning till night, does it change anything? It doesn't. So just let it go. If you are a Christian or a Muslim, if you believe in prayers, pray about it and just leave the rest. Because I don't think you are in a position to do anything about something that is beyond your capacity. Then let's talk about self-care. What do you love doing? What makes you happy, really? Explore what makes you happy. Take care of yourself. You know, I always say something. In everything, I must still be a fine girl. You understand? Because I want to look good. Because looking good makes me feel good. And not necessarily in designer, so just something simple that you look in the mirror and you say, I'm looking nice. Then there are times that I'll tell my husband, can't you see that I'm looking nice? Something like that. Then set boundaries. You see, these boundaries is what kills people. And it is something we need to address in our society. There are people who tell me that, Bola, you like behaving like Oyibo. And what is that even supposed to mean? Because I set boundaries. You understand? Am I supposed to spill my blood because of you? No, I'm not going to do that. In every relationship, you must set boundaries. You cannot go beyond this. Learn to say no to something that is not convenient for you. Don't use shame to say, I'll do it. And then it's not really convenient for you. Our brain should not stop working when it comes to certain situations, either family or church. Your brain should never stop working. And when you need to think with your head, especially as a woman, think with your head though. Don't think with your heart first. Because when you think with your heart, you do things that you shouldn't do. So we should learn to set boundaries. Then self-acceptance. You cannot be everything. You cannot be perfect. Everybody is not meant to be a PhD holder. Everybody is not wealthy. Learn to accept the space you find yourself and manage it and thrive with it. If I have a friend who works in an oil and gas company, we manage to go abroad together. We find ourselves in a gold shop because me, I like gold. If she's buying $1,000 gold, I know I cannot afford it. So learn to operate within your space. Don't use other people's wristwatch to look at your time, because for everybody, there is a time and a season.
Oh, wow. So profound. Thank you so, so much, Bola. We've really enjoyed you as our guest today.
Thank you.
And I hope our viewers will take away a lot of insights which you have shared with us. Thanks so much. Wow, I found Bola's session so inspiring and insightful. I want to talk to the leaders out there. It is your responsibility to ensure that you build a culture of growth and inspiration. Stakeholder management is real. It requires you to ensure that your employees are also working at their best. And only then can the firm actually thrive. And for those ladies who are in a season of waiting, please do not be discouraged. Your strength will be renewed as you wait. Be patient. Your season will come. I want to thank all of you listening today. I hope you felt something and you felt a bit of hope and you're ready to soldier on and be the best you can be. Please stay tuned for the next episode on the We Win podcast. Goodbye.